It shouldn't come to too much of a surprise that Love Live Sunshine fans have been eating extremely well as of late, not only with the full-on reveal of Yohane the Parhelion Blaze in the Defense, which is a side-scrolling action-adventure platformer set to release on November 16th on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox consoles, and PC. We also got the direct confirmation that there's a brand new Yohane the Parhelion NUMAZU in the Mirage deck builder game. This is a brand new official reveal from Backseat, some developers that I believe originally worked on one of my favorite popular deck builders, Super Bullet Break, and now they are going to be working on this Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and PC Steam game set to release on February 22nd of next year. So in this video, I want to provide not only all of the feedback and all of the information for everything that you need to know regarding the release of this game, because there's a lot to go over. If you, for whatever reason, don't necessarily know, Love Live Sunshine was originally, I believe, a manga, then it's made its way into anime, then it has been appearing in different video games. I believe Puyo Puyo, I believe, was part of the Grand Blue Fantasy mobile game, and now several spin-off titles have been making their way as, you know, finally the IP has gotten enough notoriety to be able to get its very own standalone games, of course, rhythm games on the mobile devices aside. However, Yohane the Parhelion NUMAZU in the Mirage is actually going to be a little bit different. First and foremost, they are already confirming that it will be receiving a physical release out in Japan and a collector's edition as well, both for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and the Nintendo Switch. But of course, a physical normal standalone version of the game will become available. And this deck builder roguelike is played with magical cards and is basically a standalone story and a little bit of a spin-off of the Love Live Sunshine franchise. While working as a fortune teller, NUMAZU Yohane spends her days with her friends. By chance, she comes into the possession of an old mirror. Worried that her fortune telling is not being accurate, Yohane decides to play the magic mirror fortune telling game using the same mirror. Suddenly, she is sucked into the mirror, which begins to glow. What she finds in the mirror is NUMAZU, which is the exact reverse of the real NUMAZU. Moreover, it is a mysterious world where magic could be used with the power of cards. At the same time, strange things begin to happen to the friends in the real world one after another. In order to save them, she must go through the NUMAZU as basically she tries to figure out what could potentially happen. In a world full of mirrors that change its appearance every single time she enters, she after countless choices, what future does Yohane will choose? A brand new story will essentially deliver it. So of course, they are trying to come up with a story to explain the roguelike mechanics. This is something you actually do get to see on the trailer, and I'm going to be trying to overlay some of the images here as well, where you essentially get to see that there is something of a Slay the Spire type map. This one is a little bit sideways, so it's not necessarily vertically as you're climbing up, as you're doing Slay the Spire, but deck builders usually do that. They provide you with selections as you are able to choose where it is that you want to go, and the story is kind of like built around the fact that this mirror changes each and every single time. So essentially you're going into the mirror, and those that is where those engagements take place. Providing a couple of details regarding the key features for the game. They talk about the deck building and cards battle in NUMAZU, where magic can be used. Adventure through NUMAZU as you are exploring the mirror. Explore NUMAZU in the mirror and use the cards that you acquire to take advantage, of course, in typical deck builder like fashion. Aim for the deepest level of the NUMAZU by making full use of the cards you have obtained. There's also bosses here that are going to be available and epic enemies as well. The interesting thing here is that almost every single one of the card attacks does have its very own unique standalone animation, so it will provide a little bit more flair and feedback, although I presume hopefully there are some options to be able to kind of skip those, since after you've kind of seen all of them, and you're certainly, if you're a fan of the game, you're going to be playing that over and over again, you probably don't want to see the animations over and over again. They also mentioned on the official website, which I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below, that there's a wide range of decks constructions with almost 100 different type of different cards. Adventure through the NUMAZU, collect cards, and build your own powerful deck. Build the strongest deck of your own based on your character, and that is something that you also get to see in the trailer. Based on the characters that you do kind of like bring along or build your deck around, those decks are going to be a little bit more powerful or more synergized in that format. Summon your trusty friends with the summon cards. You can summon powerful friends in the NUMAZU. Summon Yohane's friends to help you out in a pinch, and that's how you essentially build out a deck specifically for one character if you wish to do it that way. Endless maps with changing structures, infinite ways to attack. Once you're clear, the map changes and restructures every single time you enter it, and a bargain system that lets you play forever. So of course, in typical deck builder like fashion, expect a lot of RNG changes as you keep going in and out. They also talk about the charms to make your strongest as you create your deck cards with different charms. Charms are items with powerful effects. Combine them with the cards to become more powerful than they were already before. Now, one of the things that they don't necessarily explain, but I assume is what they're referencing here, is that charms are going to be a little bit kind of like relics. Things that change, maybe just one specific card, but maybe multiple ones at that. So it's going to be something that you're going to want to see depending on the deck that you synergize with. You're probably going to want to focus on getting your hands on certain specific charms. Maybe some charms work better for one character than they do another. So at the end of the day, you know, you certainly want to be able to do that. There are a couple of other things that they don't necessarily explain here. For example, whenever you take a closer look at the AI, they don't mention how many cards you're going to be able to have in your deck. Discardable cards, do they reshuffle? Certainly they showcase that you have energies that you're going to be able to use. All of those kind of things. Enemy health, how does that necessarily work? How do they attack? How do you get their feedback? All of those kind of things are not necessarily explained, but one of the things that we are hoping for sure, and that is the fact that this game gets fully localized. Now, like I mentioned at the top of the video, previous Backseat games have been making their way here to the West. Specifically, Super Bullet Break did. I was a big supporter of that game. I reviewed it. I talked about it before launch. So I'm hopeful that Backseat understands their audience and certainly wants to go ahead and support the game here in North America with a localized version here in English. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today regarding Yohane the Parhelion NUMAZU and the Mirage, set to release onto the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5 consoles. I guess I mentioned at the top of the video PlayStation 4, but they actually don't say PS4. They just say PS5, which I just noticed that. So that is really interesting. Current gen only, not last gen. Only Switch is last gen. PC and Steam, and is set to launch February 22nd of next year. It will support, according to them though, the Japanese release will support English, Japanese, traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese. So maybe just importing the Japanese version will be good enough for those players who are not interested or are hoping at the very least to see a localized version. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. But as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.